Gundam Build Diver continues being that show where it's like, where is the video game? Because it keeps talking about it exactly how it is, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of just want to play the game now. I'm not gonna lie, because this show, the more I watch it and the more I see it, like the Build Fighters or even just this series as well, it makes me just go, man, I just want to like play some Gundam games. And it's like, I'm probably just going to have to get to this point where it's like, I'm just going to have to take the dive, and like when the new Gundam Breaker comes out, because that's finally coming out on Steam now, and it's like, you know what, I'm just going to wait and get that, because this show is really putting me in the mood to actually like play some of those games. So definitely with this episode, like, I want to talk about it. But first, I think something should be mentioned is the fact that they changed the opening slightly in this one. So what's weird about it is that they didn't like, they added one new scene, which I'm pretty, like, I went back and through like the original opening and then as well from the first episode and then this episode, and what they've done is that they've changed scenes around where the introduction of certain characters, they added a few, like, the one new scene was like when Maggie was getting introduced and doing the flick, and it shows that that opening wasn't finished, so like clearly there's gonna be some little more additions. And there was like, they changed it where that one guy in like in the cloak and he's got the black suit, he's like singing in rhyme with the song, which I thought, like, I wonder what he was saying for that. And it's like, they changed the order of like some of the characters. I believe it was like the ninja girl and Mocha are now first, and like the wolf guy is like dead last, and like the last bit where like the beat starts getting into it, which, by the way, I have the reason why it's like I was so visually, I noticed that being changed was because I've been non-stop listening to the opening, because, yeah, like, at first I was like, man, this isn't as strong as like any of the Build Fighters or the Tri openings, and I'm like, no, this is on par with them, because it's really got damn strong. I like the rapping at the start, but when when the blade falls to the ground and when it starts actually getting in song to it with like the little girl Sarah, like when you see her like pull out the pose and like everyone just starts charging in, I'm not gonna lie, that I really started getting into the song, and it was like, okay, this is actually really awesome. And well, with this episode, we get to see a little bit of some of the characters that we're going to be seeing from the future, which is Chaotic Ogre, which we find out a little bit more about what exactly with that dickhead that we saw with like Doji, apparently his name was, that like tricked him in the first episode, and it was like, no, let's see like Riku and his friend, let's go see them go out and actually try and like go and do some missions. And they meet the little mysterious girl from last time, which is like, we finally get her name, which is Sarah, or as they say, Sada. Like, they can't say Sarah, they have to say Sada, like, for some reason, which, yeah, like, honestly, when like you look at her design and when you look at like the other characters that we've seen from there, yeah, she's the same as every other mysterious girl. Because at first I was like, wait, is she the girl from like the Tri-Fighters like Island War OVA? And I'm like, no, that's a completely different kid. That's Reiji and Isla's kid. And it's like, we don't know if there's any relation. The most, if anything, because how she is acting, like, is like, she knows a lot more than she's going on about. She acts like she's got some part of amnesia, but she's like, I can understand the Gundam's emotions, kind of like how the other, like the Island War girl kind of understood. It's like, no, they're suffering, or like, I understand this and that. And it's like, you can see there's definitely going on more with her, and especially when it's noticed where a big system comes into this, which is the Trans-Am system, which is something that's like heavily used in Double O, which, just for sake of clarity, I've only seen like 4 episodes of Double O. I still need to actually get back onto that, because I actually liked what I saw of that show. And it's like one of the beginner Gundams that I was like, it was recommended to me, and I remember like watching a bit of that, and then I was like, I remember just watching Age, and I thought Age was fine, but then afterwards it was like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna watch the original series and just go from there. And it's like, yeah, no, like, we get to see that this boosts up your power, but it clearly has a drawback effect with that. It's too much for this machine. If the machine's not very well handled, like if it's not very well built, and if you can't use it properly, then it's just, that's all it is. It's a glass cannon sort of effect where your machine could have the dangerous effect of blowing up, so you definitely don't want a scenario like that happening. There was another thing, which was Mass Diver, which is gonna be the clear thing of this show, where it's really getting MMO-y evil kind of shit happening with this, where like then again the third season of like Build Fighters, like both like the first and second core of that was like had magic shit to it because Reiji was from another world, but then Tri-Fighters kind of got rid of that, and then the OVA was like, no, it's still a thing, and like the Plavsky particles and everything, and it's like, but they're really going it really hammy and weird with some of the shit where it's like, oh, the evil energy this guy used to like, I think it was called break decal, like it was like, it said on the actual English text of the system, and I was like, they described it as a mass diver and a break decal, so like, whether or not like what that's going to do, but we can clearly see like Sarah's the one that knows what's going on about this stuff, because she's like, oh, don't use a Trans Am because it hurts your machine, I can hear it in pain. And whenever that mass die thing was being used, it was like, no, that thing is like, it's actually disgusting, and it's like something is clearly goddamn wrong with it. Plus, we get to see this like, hey, let's just do a collect mission. Like, let's just do some Monster Hunter where it's like, no, let me do this and like collect flowers, which was a thing. And I guess this gave like a good excuse for like them to like, hey, here's showcasing all the areas, like here's all the parts of Gundam that you know, and I'm like, that's cool. I like that they're doing that, because that's not really anything the other series have tried to do. They've done a couple like spaceport missions and like some forest and all that, but I felt like they never really went to try and go into detail, because it's more like, hey, look at the characters that look like all these people, and it's like, that was the more like noticeable thing, it was like hitting the mix and all that, and it's like the stages just didn't matter as much, I felt, in like the original series. But overall, like how the episode is, because generally I'm discussing more than the actual story plot of this episode, is the fact that, yeah, Riku and his friend just go back in, do a mission, and they encounter Chaotic Ogre, which is that asshole that they encountered from the first episode, and his big brother, and they were getting involved in a completely different fight because a group of three wanted revenge, and that just led into Riku getting involved in this situation in the first place. Which side things is that their friend, like I believe the name's like Momoko, or whatever her name is, like the pink-haired girl who's like, join our soccer team, join our football team, you need to do this, and it's like, no, we are having fun doing something completely different. We want nothing to do with like what you've got in mind. And I'm like, sure, that's her whole shtick until she becomes a which it will be a thing later on where it's like she will become part of the crew at some point, because she's in the opening and she's like heavily shown off throughout the entirety of it, and it's like, sure, why not? Like, she, like, from what we get, like, got the tiny little glimpse of like the character. She was like she has some nice like little funny moments here and there, but I don't know, like compared to like Fumina, so far she, like, her design, both avatar wise and also as well like design wise, is like, it's a bit flat really, and it's like I said, I'm not a big fan of these designs compared to like Try and the original, but mind you, it's a different character designer, so yeah, some of the designs I'm a little bit flat on, but overall, like, the action was fine. There was some really gorgeous, like, shots here when, like, definitely the Chaos Ogre guy, and, like, definitely when Riku, like, clashed with him. I liked that bit where it's like they both went at each other with their blades, and I was like, alright. And you see this guy's using the Trans Am system, and you're like, this is where you gotta go right now. If by going by shonen, like, logic, this is the power gap at the moment. It's like, your idol's up here, but you have to beat these guys first, and you can't beat them yet. And so if you have no chance at him, then you can't defeat the champion. You know, it's the tournament art, which that was a thing that was building up with, it was building up to, which is going to be the focus of this series. It's just force battles where you have team battles instead of like the 3v3s that we had in Try, the 1v1s, like the double setups, like, which, you know, that they're addressing. It's like, hey, have you and your buddies go around and set up like a little clan, and we go out and see, you know, that sounds fun. I'm not gonna lie, that sounds fun. I like the 3v3s. I thought it would like messing stuff and all that later down the road, but it made more excuses to add more Gundams down the line in this world as well. Like I said, like, the only thing I could ever complain about really is like, yeah, when you can tell that some of these people are just no-names literally by like, they use like the Yazus or the Zakus, or just they use some of like the really here's the grunts of the series, like use the grunt drone, and it's like, Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Like, some of them had like a little bit of like characteristic flair, even if they are grunts, but a lot of them just meld into between each character. But overall, yeah, it was a fine episode. I enjoyed it for what it was. I will say I was listening and like definitely this show, like as I keep going on about the music, like obviously the opening's great, ending's fine, but I was listening a lot to the OST throughout this track and I was like, man, these are actually some really good tracks I'm hearing right here, and which definitely both series is. I don't know if it's the same composer from the last two series. I definitely know he stayed on till like Island Wars, and I think as well the battle log things that they had, those like OVAs that they went through. But yeah, nothing else to complain with apart from, yeah, like it was overall, like the episode wasn't super bombastic. It's really making me hungry though for some Gundam games, which, hey, it's serving its purpose. This thing is literally here to promote and celebrate Gundam and sell toys. That's all it is. I at least have to have one of these shows a year, whether it be some Yu-Gi-Oh! Or will it be this, and, you know, definitely I've been enjoying a lot of what Build Divers has. So it's not offering anything new, it's just how it does the formula, which I just enjoy. And overall, like I said, like I'm still willing to get some more like attempts on that to like really impress me. But so far, I'm not blown away, or like not like yeah, like how I was with like Tri Fighters or like or with the original series. So we'll wait and see. I'll let it like get like a couple episodes before I like deliver its like kind of judgment. And we still haven't got a confirmation on how long this show is. By taking a wild estimate, I wouldn't be surprised if this is going to be like the same as like the rest of the other series, where it's going to be like 24 to 26 episodes. So we'll have to wait and see. But that's all from me. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.